Welcome back to Focus on Africa. Let's now talk about Lagos, Nigeria's bustling economic hub. It's one of the wealthiest cities in Africa, and it's been growing rapidly. But there's a downside to these development projects. The influx of people migrating to the city is taking its toll on the residents' quality of life. One major issue that Lagos is facing is poor air quality. This is causing illnesses and, sadly, even premature deaths among the population. The BBC's Azizat Olaoluwa now reports.
People walk up to me and ask me that, why do you have your nose mask?
Except if it's extremely important. We don't take our baby outside.
Sumbo and Waziri live in Lagos, Nigeria's commercial city. She's an architect while he is a fitness enthusiast. They are both worried about the air quality of their city.
Getting to know about the effect of air pollution in Lagos State really changed my mindset to a lot of things. I guess because it's not something that's tangible. You can't really see how bad it is.
A 2022 report by the World Bank shows that 30,000 people die yearly from pollution-related diseases in Lagos. Open burning of waste, industrial activities and heavy traffic are some of the major causes of air pollution in the state.
2, 3. As a fitness enthusiast, sometimes I've had to adapt to the bad air outside. And I do this by not going out sometimes. My neighbors usually put the generator directly beneath our window. So we just decided to be closing our windows because of the fumes coming from the generator, because they are petrol powered.
Like Waziri, Sumbo has made adjustments.
I have my nose masks handy, different shapes, different colors, everywhere. Every pouch in my bag has a spare nose mask at this point in time. We've also reduced the oil quantity that we consume. We're looking at other clean sources of energy, like solar.
Are we set?
They are not just protecting themselves. Sumbo and Waziri are on a mission to save the environment. They are part of a group called Citizens for Clean Air.
These young campaigners say they are for clean air in Lagos State, and they understand that they have nowhere else to go. And that's why they have come together for action to be taken to make air pollution a thing of the past.
Just check behind. You can see plastic and wastage is there. And these things, they might just end up being burnt, open burning.
Even the construction company decides to resume.
During the runs, they collect data on air quality to help improve policy decisions. The Lagos State Environmental Protection Agency, LASEPA, is in charge of safeguarding the environment.
Most of the vehicles here in Nigeria are over 15 years old, using old technology. And also our fuel, our petrol, has a high level of sulfur. So what we're doing now especially is encouraging other modes of transportation, like waterways, pooling, mass transit.
The government and the World Bank have also set up 6 air quality monitoring stations across the state.
Thank you once again.
For Sumbo and Waziri, the hope one day is that air quality in Lagos would improve for the sake of the future generation.
The Lagos of my dream is a place where people don't have to think before knowing that quality air is actually very important.
So that we could have a better life, we could have a better environment, and then we could live longer.
Azizat Olaoluwa, BBC News, Lagos.
Joining me now is environmentalist Alan Sapong. He's the coordinator of the Friends of Rivers and Water Bodies, an NGO which does advocacy on the protection of water bodies in Accra. Alan, thanks for making time for Focus. Now, it's been termed as a silent, invisible killer in Africa. But beyond its direct impact, that's polluted air on those who breathe it in, what would you talk about in terms of its impact on agricultural productivity and food security?
Yes, so thank you for having me. The impact of air pollution on Africa, and I'm speaking from Accra in Ghana, is there for everybody to see. And air pollution is one of the contributing factors for global warming. And global warming, as we all know, has affected food security because of change in weather. So excessive rainfall in the rainy season and very dry season in the drought seasons, which then affect produce of farmers. So air pollution is really ravaging this continent in our agri sector and many other sectors.
Truly, Alan, if I can jump in, some of the areas of concern, factory emissions, vehicle emissions, which interventions are bearing fruit?
So, for example, renewable sources of energy, and especially biogas as a solution for, most of the biggest pollution, air pollution happens in the smaller cities in Africa because they use wood and charcoal and kerosene mostly for cooking, for heating, and for electricity. So, we call it household pollution. So over the years, energy saving stove and other renewable sources like biogas have been introduced across the continent to be able to, as it were, reduce the use of wood, firewood, kerosene, and other sources of energy, which is harmful to the environment.
Alan, you've told us the smaller towns, it could be a worse situation there. Which African towns and cities are handling air pollution well?
So the truth of the matter is that the bigger economies are doing better. Places like maybe South Africa, Egypt, and the bigger economies are doing, because mostly they deal with the industrial pollution. But the bigger problem is the household pollution, which is caused by what I've mentioned already: wood, firewood, charcoal, and the use of kerosene. So the bigger economies are doing better than the smaller economy. That is why Chad and other smaller economies are the worst air polluted countries in Africa.
Alan, let me take you to East Africa now. We recently saw a situation in Kenya where Saudi companies were buying 2.2 million tons of carbon credits. Just briefly tell us, what are carbon credits and how helpful can they be possibly for the African continent?
Yes, so I have also realized that across the continent, but carbon credit is not really popular in Africa. I'm speaking from Ghana, and I have not had any major investment in carbon credit. So, I mean, from our part, in this part, all that we have to do is to save our forests and then earn credit for that. Other places too that are a bit developed, the cities, then you can produce your own renewable energy sources and then plug it in and also earn. So we have to do more, and I'm happy to hear the East African story.
Thank you, Alan Sapong, and we'll have to...
Our World on BBC News.